Ahem. Hello there, welcome aboard. And today, as you saw the title, we're going to be testing AX-52's Biotic rounds because I forgot to test it in the recommended rifles video. Let me pull up the chat. All right. Let me see if I moved over the builds. Time scale should be 100. That should be 25. That should be 100. That should be off. And the rest are fine. Oh, whoops. Yep, here they are. So the contenders are these builds that we're going to be contesting with. And the power is right here. Biotic rounds, 150% magnetic damage, 150% viral, 150% status chance. So it is a beast of a mod. Look at these stats, right? 238 on viral. I'm going to remove 2 mods and add this one. While it won't show right away because it's a conditional mod, it's actually much more powerful. Because it's on headshot kill. Oh, hello there, Demo, by the way. Demo says hello there in the chat. Okay. Since we're going to be testing this, let's start with hip fire. And first, actually, let's run the test on the default hip fire build so we can get a reference point. Keep in mind that the results will vary a tiny bit. Like, it won't exactly be the same thing every time because there's randomness involved. Oh yeah, I totally forgot I disabled those. Give me 1 second. Yeah, test visuals is off. It should be on now. There you go. Oh, hello there, Cobra Gaming. Also keep in mind that it's going to be relatively boring because it's mostly just sitting here and watching the test happen because it takes quite a bit of time for the test to finish every time. But yeah, there's not much I can do about that. And that's the whole reason I didn't stream every single test, because the whole idea of me streaming was to stream every single test, but turned out to be incredibly difficult because it's really boring to just sit and watch. Okay. Cobra Gaming say absolute long time no see. I guess so. Talking about a long time, have a look at this. The result is 58.73. I'm really curious. If I remove these two and just add this, what happens? Cobra says, I'm on repo, so I'ma just keep this running in the background. What do you mean on repo? What's that mean? Is it like a game or something? Or do you mean like at your job or something? But regardless, I'm happy to have you. Oh yeah, Demo, if you don't know, this program is a Warframe damage calculator. I use it to calculate the result and... Oh wow. Wait, what? What just happened? Why is it worse? It's so much worse, but why? Shouldn't this be like so much better? 150% status chance, viral and magnetic. So it should be better. But it isn't? I'm so confused right now. Let's check the values. 100% viral, 100% magnetic, 100% status chance. Compared to, what was the default build? Just cold and toxin. That's 165 cold plus 60 there, so that's 225% viral and 60% status chance. That's a lot less than what this mod gives us. And it also gives us magnetic and status chance, so why is it not better? Okay, we're gonna double check that it actually works. Let's turn on damage display, turn down the time scale, and turn down the repeat count to like 2 maybe. And maybe 3. Let's see what's actually happening under the hood, because this will give us the numbers. Okay. On first headshot kill, this is galvanized multi-shot getting procced. This is condition overload getting procced. Well, I say condition overload, but it's actually galvanized aptitude, as you can see, on kill galvanized aptitude. But the name of the effect is just called condition overload nowadays. Recalculate elemental damage with on headshot. There it is. Biotic rounds. Magnetic damage goes to 150. Viral damage goes to 150. Status chance goes to 59%. Is that correct? And then it stays at that value pretty much the entire time. Isn't that true? Should be true. Yeah, it is true. 150 for both of them. What was the value with our normal test? Wait a second. Wait a second. I think... Does galvanized status's damage increase not work properly? That's a good question. If the interaction between 150% viral and magnetic and galvanized aptitude, is it working properly? I'm starting to doubt it. Or maybe it is. But wait a second. It's only 150%. This cold mod is 165 by itself. So it's actually, while granted this gives 300% total elemental damage, also status chance was not as high as I expected it to be. What was the status chance value again? Here, base, let's check the base. The base is only 18%, that's pretty low. Galvanized status and this alone. Well, keep in mind I'm still keeping one slot empty. I actually expected it to be better with just that. But no, it wasn't. The status chance is just too low. The status chance ends up being 0.59. And having equal amounts of viral and magnetic maybe made it not as good. That's surprising. That's really surprising. But that's not what we wanted to really test. Now which we know the baseline, which is very surprising. Genuinely, I did not expect that. I genuinely expected it to just be better, but it wasn't. That's not the case at all. So the question becomes how, what, and what? The question becomes how can you make it better, and what mod should we start with? Since we're on hipfire mode, that means our ammo economy is pretty solid. And I'm actually worried this is not enough viral. Or maybe it's just not good enough procs. What if we add cold 165 to it? That's a significant chunk of base damage. It's more than these two, and that's the problem, right? Because right now, the thing that will proc will be cold. And only then it will be viral and magnetic, but the chances are so low that we may not get enough virals. Let's actually check that. I want to see, are we getting enough virals on enemies when they die? Yeah, let's make the repeat count like 3. Okay, these last ones are the important ones because those are the heavy units. Let's see. There it is, bombard. And this should be a heavy gunner, I think. Let's see. Cold, cold, puncture, cold. Nothing. Crit, puncture, puncture, cold. Wow, that sucks. Where's my viral? Did we even get a single viral? Where's my viral? We should have viral damage. It does say viral damage is 150. But I'm not seeing any viral procs. This is confusing. Are we seeing any magnetic procs? Did I mess this up? Did I implement it incorrectly? You know what? We're gonna check. We're gonna double check our work. I'm gonna copy this. It goes in my clipboard. Let me open Word. You can't see it just yet, but give me a second. I'm gonna show it to you. You should see it soon. Is it not showing up? No, it's not showing up. Come on. OBS, you can see it, right? No, OBS cannot see it. Why doesn't it show up? The hell? Okay, I just changed it to display capture. Here's the entire thing. Let me actually center that bad boy. Do we have any virals? We do not. Wait a second. Oh, okay. I think I realized what happened. I think I forgot to update the proc effects, and I actually just gave it damage without the possibility of procs. Let's check that. Seems like I made a mistake in implementing this. If I go to fire mode updater, this is gonna be a bit technical, so you'll have to bear with me. Fire mode updater is the function that takes the damage and all the mods and redistributes everything and sets up everything. For example, let me give you a simple example right here. It's the magazine update, updates the magazine with the magazine increase mods, reload, fire rate, status chance, etc. The thing that I'm worried is the fact that status effects did not get set up properly, which means I need to find where I'm setting that up. Let's actually work backwards from the end to the start. Let's go all the way to where we activate a proc and see what variable we're using there, and then we'll work our ways backwards and figure out what we need to change. So if I go to status effect, okay, that's not what I wanted. Let's go back up. Gun start, not quiet. Reference shoot, closer. It should be take damage package. Wait, we're in a gun. No, we have to be an enemy. My mistake. We have to be an enemy.cs. Okay, here it is. Take damage package. And here there should be a section for status chance. Let's find it. Random status effects. Okay. It's damage weights. I think it's damage weights. Let's go there. If we find damage weights, weighted choice, status type random, and damage weights. Okay, I think I did not update damage weights. So let's find the name of that variable. Damage weights. Let's go up and see where that bad boy is. It is the second input of take damage package. We have to go to gun where we pass that along. For example, delayed shot, but I would prefer the original one. Here. It's damage weights I. Okay, the damage weights value itself is a list of doubles. Okay, let's find that bad boy. Now, if we search for damage weights, okay, gun.damage weights, that's the first instance. Okay, gun.damage weights, damage weight calculator. Let's go there and see what that one does. And here it is. So we need to call this function after, like at runtime. Can we do that? We should be capable of doing it. The way I implemented the Biotic rounds mod, which seems to be incorrect, was, if I find it, I can just search for AX-52. No, Biotic rounds. Did I put it in gun or did I put it in enemy? I think I put it here. AX-52. Okay, there it is. Oh, no, not that one, actually. There's another one. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it's just Biotic rounds. Yeah, there it is. Biotic rounds on headshot kill, then recalculate elemental damage. Okay, there is the mistake. When I'm recalculating elemental damage, I'm not actually recalling the damage weight for status effects. I see. Damage weights for status effect is just like a list of like viral, 5% chance. Magnetic, 5% chance. Impact, like 10% chance of the total. Like what percentage of total damage is that type. But I'm not retesting that every time, which means it's not getting updated. So after I called update element at runtime, I need to call it again. Do I have access to enough data? Well, I should have access to enough data. Let's find that again. Damage weight calculator just requires one fireman. But here's another question. Where would I put this again? I think we do have a reference to gun itself, to the source script. And the value we need to update is in source script. It's called damage weights. So it should be doable. If you go back to fire mode updater, I think I can do it, but am I passing along? It is a reference. And damage weight updater only requires a fire mode, not... Is it taking all the fire modes or one of them? Let me check. It says fire mode dot impact, which means it's one of the fire modes, not all of them. Which also means it will be totally fine to use staged fire modes. Which also means you can just need to run here. Just say staged fire mode. Do I have to actually... Does this return something? Do I have to do it that way, or do I just pass along the fire mode and it'll do the job? No, it seems to return something. If I go to where it's called, it says gun.damageWeights I equals damage weights calculator unquantized. Ooh, unquantized. Wait a second. Oh, okay, that's actually another problem which I'm just now realizing. Quantization also gets messed up when I'm actually changing. Okay, this biotic rounds thing is becoming way more complicated now which I'm thinking about it. I first assumed I could just update the damage numbers themselves, but no, I cannot do that. The way I did it is incorrect. Not only do I have to recall quantization, I also have to recall damage weights calculator. Okay. Dang. I so thought I was properly ready, but actually no, I am not. Okay. Where do I start? Let's see. I guess I could start with the damage weights, but it requires unquantized. I guess I can still do it? Can I do it? I think update element at runtime needs to use unquantized values. But where would I get me some unquantized values? Do I have a reference to that? Let's see. Source script. Wait, does source script actually have access to unquantized? Let's see. Unquantized staged fire modes. Okay, we do have it. That's not an issue. We do have it. So we just need to pass that along and then run quantization. So instead of using staged fire modes like here, we actually have to run unquantized. Yeah, unquantized staged fire modes as well as original. We also need to, we need to use unquantized original. Or do we? Do I even have that stored anywhere? I do not. The values of original staged fire mode are just the values we had when the test started. While staged fire modes are the values that changed. Like we can't change them after the fact. But this one will stay. So we can reset everything to it after like we're done or after the buffs run out. Which leads me to believe that if we just use the unquantized values and then, because unquantized values never change, we are not accessing that at all. So we should be good to use them instead of the original here. Because here this calls for staged and original. So if we're quantizing after the fact in this test, we should be capable of doing it. Yeah, I think stage fire modes has to stay, and this just has to become unquantized stage fire modes. Then we can go in here. First, we have to get the buffs going. Original is now unquantized, which is fine, but we actually have to do the DOTs after, and then after that, we have to then do the quantization. Should be doable. I think it's doable. So we have to do DOTs here. But do I have an access point for it? I don't think we do. We need to add one. We need to add source script right here. I think it's a gun type. Wouldn't we need... No, actually we wouldn't. I was thinking that we might need to store the DOTs too, but when we have the unquantized values, we also have the DOTs, because all we have to do is pass along the unquantized and it's fine. So let's go back. And here we need to add source script. Go back. So source script dot damage weights is equal. What was the name of the function? I totally forgot. It should be somewhere here. Damage weights calculator. Okay, there it is. What did it need to pass along? A fire mode, which has to be unquantized. So just the unquantized variant, which is this one. You just have to rename it, because we're actually passing along the correct fire mode. You just need to rename that bad boy. Oh, there's something else wrong too. Inside of damage weights is a list of a list, but this one actually just gives us a list, not a list of a list. We could circumvent that by just passing along I, like this one, like which one are we on right now? But there's gotta be a better way, right? Maybe there isn't. We could also pass along a reference to that damage weight specifically, so we don't have to worry about the I here. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. What type is it? It's an array of doubles. Oh, Demo Man, you're trying to be a programmer? Demo says, I think I should pay attention since I'm trying to be a coder. Yeah, don't say coder, say programmer. Because coder is just someone that turns an algorithm into a code, while a programmer is someone that comes up with it. See? It's a little bit higher level. You're trying to be a programmer, not a coder. The reason I'm saying I'll have to pass along a reference instead of the actual thing is that if I pass along the actual thing and then we change it, the original source will not change. But if we pass along a reference to the original, then we can change it inside this function here. So I need an array of doubles, and its name will be damage weights. So now we don't need to know. Actually, we don't even need the gun reference anymore, because that was the only thing we really wanted. So we can actually replace that one. Whoops, I forgot my comma. There we go. So now we can say damage weights equals this. Will it work? Ooh. Wait, something's not working right. An object reference is required for the non-static field method or property fire mode updater damage weights calculator. Oh, okay. The issue is that this is not static, but I can make it static. I think I can make this static because this does not use. The reason it did not work right now is because we did not have a reference for this function. Because functions, I say function in C# they're called methods, but the same thing really. We can access values outside of what is passed along to them. But if I turn it static, then we will not need a reference. And I think this does not need any access. And now it will work. Right? Yep, see, the error went away. Because it's static, it does not need an instance of that object to be usable. We can use it anytime, anywhere, as long as we know where it is. Then we have to set up staged fire modes equals quantization. What's the function for quantization? Oh, it's actually literally called quantization. Can we turn this one static? Well, one easy way is to just turn it static and see if it throws an error. Oh, I think it does. Well, to be fair, can't I turn this static too? Because this one doesn't need anything either. Okay, this one can be static too, because these guys, now which I'm thinking about it, whenever I can make something static, I should make it static. Where was I? Quantization. Okay, now I should be capable of using quantization. How do we use that bad boy? We just give it one fire mode. Probably the unquantize I. We set it to quantize I. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. So we just need to quantize. Staged fire modes, right? Is that how it would go? Let's see. We're not actually changing the value of unquantized fire mode at all. We're just setting those strings directly one-to-one inside of staged fire modes, unless there's an increase. I think then we have to actually quantize the staged fire mode, because it essentially becomes the unquantized value. Because we're overriding the old one, right? Or maybe not. Am I doing the math right? Because here we're actually using the original old value, which we get from the unquantized value, plus the staged one. Multiply base damage, but that's just base damage. We're not quantizing base damage. We're using staged fire mode base damage because that's the value that's changing. So that's fine. And then buff amount, that also should be correct. Then we're setting the string. The set field by string. We're not setting the field. We're updating that value. Let's see. Stage fire mode, yeah. Damage type, new value, that's correct. But it also means it's not quantized anymore. So we can quantize it then. Oh, we're updating the damage weights first, and then we're quantizing it. Should be good. Should be correct. I think. I think being the key word there. Let me make sure quantization doesn't do anything weird. So in quantization, what are we exactly doing? Passing along some values. Or those are also values are not going to change, and this is the main thing. We're grabbing these bad boys, as well as considering the base damage. divided by 16, then rounding these to one of those 1/16ths. Should be correct, I think. I think it will be fine. Should be good. Okay. Fix the bug where Biotic rounds. Wouldn't change status effect. Wouldn't change damage weights. Okay, let's actually work backwards and see if we actually... Oh, whoopsie. I forgot about that one. We have to do one of these and change this to damage weights. There we go. Oh, a reference of the damage weights. My apologies. So recalculate elemental damage now calls update element at runtime, and the update element at runtime actually both does the quantization and updates damage weights calculator. Okay, one thing that I have to pay attention to is when it's resetting everything back to normal, will it go to the correct value again? Let's see. At that point, unquantized, let's see, we get the original O value, that's correct. And the new value is the original O value, which is the unquantized value, multiplied by buff amount, which is 0 at that point. So it's just the unquantized value. So yes, it will go to the correct value afterwards. Should be good. Should being the keyword. We'll have to test it. Okay, let me open... I'll have to open... 1 second. I'll have to open Unity. It takes a little bit. See why I said... whoops. Yeah, launching Unity is a bit of a heavy process. I lagged out for a second there. See why I said it's really boring? Though usually I don't have this kind of problem because usually everything works just fine because I've tested previously. But I guess I didn't think to test the status effects. And that was my mistake. How have your day been? Has it been good? Has it been bad? Have you been having fun today? Yeah. Oh, whoops. Unity says you have errors in your code. Don't you want to fix them first? Let me see where the errors are. Oh yeah, I totally forgot that I'm using that function we just updated in 2 places. So I only updated one of the places. There we go. Okay. You couldn't see that. Give you a second. It's gonna show up soon. As soon as Unity launches. I really gotta get myself some new stream music too, because the batch I have already, it's been a while since I've been using it. I'm thinking of sitting down one day and just browsing through the YouTube audio library, the music library of YouTube, which lets you use it for anything you want as long as it's on YouTube. It's very good because you won't have to worry about copyright issues, which I did have to deal with. It was very annoying. Okay, does Unity count? It should, right? Oh wow. Why is it doing that? Transform full screen? Is it only capturing this tiny bit? What about the rest of Unity? Maybe let's go up to something else and then back. Now it should work maybe? Oh no, it's just grabbing one tiny bit of Unity at a time. Well, that's unfortunate. If I click on something, it just goes to that section, but doesn't let me show you everything. So I guess we'll just have to use display capture. I don't like using display capture, but here we are. All right, so let's test that bad boy out. If it works, if I did everything correctly, now we should be getting viral procs when using Biotic rounds. Okay, the numbers look good here. I could make it heavy because it's easier. Okay, we're not gonna add anything else. We're just gonna add Biotic rounds. Before, we were not getting any damage weight increases, which means we were not getting any virals or anything like that, which was a problem. Let me actually increase the repeat to like 7. The enemy level should be a bit higher too. Oh no, actually, since we're using unmodded, it should be fine. Let's go. Pause. Okay, by default, as you can see, we're only getting punctures. There it is, viral proc. Magnetic proc, viral proc. Okay, it's working. It's working for now. Wait a second. But we also have to worry about the reset. Let's make sure the reset actually works correctly. I think the duration of this mod is like 15 seconds, I think. Let me check it. Where are my augments? There it is. Duration 15 seconds. Okay, it is 15 seconds. So any sort of virtual delay, that kind of thing will not reset this buff. But I do have a trick up my sleeve. If I change targeting delay to be like 16 seconds and then increase timescale, now we should kill an enemy, wait 16 seconds, and then go for the next target. Which means it should reset and we should not get any virals. Yep, you're not getting a single viral. And let's check the damage numbers are also not changing. Starting at 45. Yep, they stay at 45. They do not go anywhere else. Okay, I think we're good. I think it should be good. Hopefully it's fine. Should I push this and make a copy, like make an actual build? I think a build does the testing faster, so it's probably a good idea to do so. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I have made it much easier to make builds, which is just, I would say 1 click, but technically it's 2 clicks. Since it asks me to save every time, I tried so hard to figure out why it's doing that. Like, it does not need to do that, but it does. I should probably yeah, I made a mistake right there. I forgot to iterate the version number. But do I really have to? I feel like it could be fine. Oh wait, I do have to. Because I think this one just overwrote the last one, which is a problem. Okay, let's do that again. I just have to go to project settings. 0.92-0.7, just make that 8. Okay, now we gotta do that again. Because if I'm not mistaken, I just overwrote an existing build, which is not good. Yep, I definitely did, because I deleted every other one. I just kept the last one, and it's just overwritten. Let me delete those. Now it should be good this time. Let me save. Export builds. Now we should be good. After this bad boy is pushed, we'll have 2 values here, 2 folders. and then I have to move those bad boys inside of these and then push to itch.io, and then I have to use it through itch.io because that's where my saves are. And by saves, I specifically mean the builds. I really do not want to manually add those every time. But once you save your builds, they'll stay there. Okay, there we go. You have to delete this one. It says do not ship, so you gotta delete that. So this is a 64 one. Let's go to 64. Delete the old one, add the new one. Then we gotta go to the 32-bit version. Delete the do not ship folder. Copy that bad boy. Delete these ones. Paste them here. And I think I'm gonna, the process of sending it might not be a good idea to show you, but it's just a simple command, but I'm not sure what it puts on screen, so I'm not going to show that part. It might have sensitive info on it, not sure. But it's just a simple command. You run it as administrator, it just sends it to the correct folder on my itch.io page. Yeah, it saves so much time too, because instead of uploading like a 200 megabyte folder, it just looks for changes and only uploads those changes. So right now it's said 99.57% saving because only 400 kilobytes got changed. Okay, there we go. That part's done. So now if I go to itch.io and check if it's actually been pushed properly. Let me check. itch.io/dashboard. Okay, let me show you too. Here it is. As you can see, it says 2 new builds right here. Yep, they're live now, which means I can simply go to my MinMaxer's dream here. Oh, whoops, I have to go to the itch.io client. Sorry about that. If you're not using the client, you'll not get the patch updates. You'll have to re-download the whole thing. Really annoying. Use the client. And right here it says update the line you're on, and pretty much it should get done instantly. Even with my internet speed, it should still be instant, considering how small it is. Cobra Gaming says, yeah, it updates it pretty much. Gotta love the patch uploads. Yep, certainly do. And then you can launch and close this part. Okay, finally back on track. 45 minutes after the stream started, and only now does Biotic rounds actually work properly. Usually at this part, I also do one more step, and that is to push this to my repo on GitHub, because I have one of those. It's private, so you can't see it, but it is there. And one more thing I do is I share on Discord what changes I've made to the program. So let's do that too. It's a way to keep in mind what I did without having to go to the history of my repo, which is really slow and annoying. It's much easier to do it this way. Also, people else can also see what I changed, which is also nice. I just gotta go here, go to which channel was it? Sector Programming. Okay, and then just paste that bad boy here. Update it to version 0.92.8 on MMD as well. There we go. Now everybody knows that I made some changes. I also added thorn back, by the way. It wasn't a thing before, but it is now. So if I look up thorn back, it's right here. It's a really simple thing to add. It's basically bursting, just a little bit better. Okay, back to hip fire. Now we can finally do a proper test. Okay, let's see. What did they change? This has to be 35 is fine. 100 headshot. We were on hip fire, right? Yep. Okay, now hip/aim. We're gonna get another benchmark for our tests. Oh, the cover at the bottom is covering it a little bit. Let me fix that. Yeah, there we go. All right, 58.72. That's our benchmark. Now we can finally say, is this one mod alone with an empty mod slot still better than that build or no? Let's find out. It should be. I think it should be. It gotta be. There's no way it isn't, right? Let's find out, I guess. Come on, come on. Be better. You gotta be better, right? 300% total damage. Sure, not all of it is viral, but the fire rate is pretty high. It should be better. Also, the status chance increase is pretty significant. Because before we were getting 60 extra. Yes! I told you it's gonna be better. Look at that. It went from 58.72 to 56.18 with an empty mod slot. Now that's performance. So what should we put in that mod slot? That's the real question. Considering this is hip fire, ammo is not an issue. Because realistically, while it says magazine 40 here, it's actually like 100. Because ammo efficiency. Look at there down here, 0.6 ammo efficiency. Yeah. So what should we add? More elemental? Add like heat? Because we are using galvanized status, but we don't have that many element types. We have puncture, viral, and magnetic. So maybe adding a heat 60-60 might be really helpful. Because we'll get extra status chance to make up for the reduced viral. Let's test it out. It's definitely better than nothing. Probably. But is it the best option? I don't know. Let's find out. The beauty of this program is that I don't have to guess. I can just test it. I just simulate it. Why bother worrying about, is it better? Is it not better? When I can just test it and find out. Wow, it's so much better. But let's use another mod to see what our benchmark should be. What if we add something that I don't think I found any build where it was really good? Vigilante multi-shot. It's multi-shot, but given how much galvanized multi-shot already gives you, it's not particularly significant. So this should be worse. We could also add radiation to have 3 combined elementals. I think the primary rifle radiation mod also gives us reload, I think. Could be handy. I don't think this weapon has reload issues. Wait, what? Oh my god, it's better. Oh, you can't see. Oh, okay, I'm on the wrong side. Whoops. Yeah, the baseline was 58.72. Then we had this one, 56.18. This is the Biotic rounds empty slot one. Then we had this bad boy with a heat 60-60 added, 53.75. Just multi-shot, 53.26. It's not by a lot, but it's enough to make me think it is better, definitely. It's close, but it is definitely better. different enough to call it significant, which is surprising. Sure, multi-shotted good, but an extra element and more status chance? Maybe the enemies die too fast before heat products can actually do anything. That's an interesting question. What else can we test? Hammer shot? Status chance and crit damage? Could be good. Let's try it. More or less, every single weapon that I showed in the recommended rifles video, every single one of them at least took an hour of my life. An hour of testing. At least an hour of testing. Yeah, it was brutal because there were like somewhat of close to 100 weapons, I think. Something like that. 53.09. Okay, this is better than both of them. Hammer shot beats not only vigilante, also heat. Okay, what about radiation then? What if we just add a bit of radiation? Where is my radiation thing? Radiation reload. It helps out. What's a reload? It's 2. Is this even better than hammer shot? I don't know. Let's find out. Oh yeah, I had a funny idea. Instead of being on the left, I could also... Where is transform? Oops, not that. What'd they do? Not that either. I can... I could, I guess. Do this. I'm on the roof, but you can't see the numbers down here. Yeah, I'm not gonna... Let's not do that. That's funny, but let's stay with this. 53.53. It's actually worse. It's better than heat, but it's worse than everything else. What else should we test? What if we add cold? Cold gives crit damage. Could be good. Who knows? And we also have to consider that maybe one of the other mods could change. Like, instead of vial acceleration, we could use fire rate and then a second fire rate. That's one thing to consider, because we wouldn't lose that 15% of base damage, though 15% is pretty insignificant. It could still be significant when we have this much elemental. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe we should add more crit chance. Oh yeah, that's definitely worse. Like, worse than heat even. Okay, so current top is this one. And this is why I love this program. Just bookmark it. Boom. Now we know what to compare against. The best one thus far, 53.09, hammer shot. So let's test Argon Scope. More crit chance. If Argon Scope is actually the best, then we will substitute it with Galvanized Crit. Because Galvanized Crit by itself is very deceptive. It lies to you with theoretical performance, but doesn't actually give you the best performance. Let's see. $53.04. It is the best thus far. Wow. Damn. Dang. Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. We have to check one more thing too. Give me a second. I'm gonna grab something. Oh wait, even if I grab it, you can't see it. Well, maybe I can find a way to show it to you. If I go here, images, this PNG. Can I throw it like in OBS? Oh, there it is. It's really funky because it's humongous. If we... Ah, there it is. Let me actually put it here. Yeah. If we scroll down to where AX-52 was, Okay. Existingly, AX-52 has been in like the 55, 57 to like 58 range. Where is Trumna? Trumna 52, Fenmore 40. Okay, okay. So thus far, we can't say like for sure, but thus far, even with biotic rounds, it does not beat everything here. Because looking at MR14, this is MR14 right here. Something like Gatva Prime is pretty close. Reconifex definitely better, at least up to what we found thus far. And Fenmore is an entirely different dimension. 40, 53, 40. Massive difference between those two. Because the minimum possible is actually 36. So the difference is humongous because that 40 is essentially 4. Because 36 is the baseline that we add with the targeting delay. So it could have been 4. That technically wouldn't have been 4. It would have been like maybe 5 or 8. But the difference wise, if that's 4, then this is close to the 53 minus 50, 36. That's a 4. This is 17 then. So the difference is massive for sure. But it's close to these other guys. Like it's very close to Gatva and the Reconifex with the augment. Granted, not if you don't have the augment, then it's a nothing burger. But still, it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. Like 55 with the aimed, it's solid. It's fine. It's definitely worth using. But between the 55 to 57 to 53, there is a massive difference there. So this is definitely one tier below that, easily. So the question is, how far can we push it? Thus far, we think that Argon Scope seems to be the way to go. But it could change. Let's figure out other ways. For example, what about more base damage? No, actually, we can't put more base damage on it because... What, am I going to put heavy caliber on this thing? That's going to destroy this weapon because with hip fire, you can't aim. And when you can't aim, your accuracy is already pretty terrible. Wait a second. We have viral built in. And magnetic. What if we add corrosive? What if we add toxin? Interesting idea, but how could we pull that off? Corrosive is a double element, so we need 2 slots. What would I be willing to drop for it? Like Argon Scope, that's an empty slot right there, but what about the other one? Drop base damage? We can certainly try, but is it gonna be better? I don't know, let's try it. That's the beauty of it. I can just try it. It's that easy. Oh yeah, we also forgot to test one more thing. Instead of adding, before we do that, let's actually do this one first. Instead of adding one 6060 mod, what if we add 190 mod? Like one full Heat 90. Is that better than the Heat 60 variant? Do we have enough stats chance to support both viral magnetic and heat on top of it? I don't know. Let's find out. How long have we been going at this? An hour and a minute? Okay, we've been testing for 15 minutes thus far, and it's already this exciting. Oh no, it's actually much worse. Baseline heat was 5375. This one is 54.05, so a single 90 mod is not the way. But now that you're here, I also want to test out the cold one. Yeah, it's not gonna be better, like logically speaking. Yeah, so let's not worry about that. Okay, now let's talk about corrosive viral. What element would we add? Would we add 90s or would we add 60s? Let's start with 60s. A toxin and then electricity. So now we have corrosive, viral, and magnetic. Those 3 comboed together could be amazing. Let's find out. Even if it isn't amazing, it's definitely a very versatile idea. But will it pan out in practice, or will it lose to Hammer Shot and Argon Scope? Let's see. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Argon scope build 53.04. Corrosive build 53.03. To be fair, when you have values that close to each other, that means they're basically identical. But the fact that we dropped base damage and we're still getting values this good, and we also need to consider we could add arcanes to this. And if we did add arcanes to this, this would be more significant because we wouldn't have excess base damage interfering with anything. Because when you have two base damage mods, adding a third one actually doesn't make as big of a difference to you having one adding a second one. So if I had to choose between that Argon Scope build and this Corrosive build, I would choose this Corrosive build because we can actually enhance it further. So thus far, this bad boy, the Corrosive Viral Magnetic, is winning. But let's test out what if we swap one of these for a 90 mod. Wait a second. What if we add more viral? Oh my god. What if we add a full Cold 165 and Toxin 6060? Let's actually test that. That's going to be a lot of viral. But that actually it might be good because 165 is much bigger than 60. Cobra Gaming says yes, diminishing returns. Yep. That's an issue right there. Oh boy, am I excited. Oh, it's definitely not better. We went from 53 to 56. Yeah, we already had viral, so I guess it makes sense. Oh, one more thing. This idea is actually reducing our base damage because all of our base damage in this form is galvanized aptitude. And we just reduce one of our elements. So that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, it makes sense. But we didn't test out this one. We keep the base damage, just add cold 165. I think this makes it so our top element is cold, which is not ideal, but worth a try. Let's see. Doesn't cost us anything other than time. Come on, be interesting. Break the record. You can do it. Come on. I doubt it does though. Like there's no way. Viral corrosive idea was really good. But to be fair, this all... Oh, there we got the results. 53 from 56. It's not better. Definitely not better. Is it better than the heat idea? It is better than the heat idea. But yeah, as soon as you get to the hammer shot territory, it's not better. Alright, so we know the answer to that one. What about toxin? I want to know the answer to that too. Let's actually test both a Toxin 6060 and a Toxin 90 as well. Because Toxin bypasses shields. Like, granted, shields don't last that long, but it's still an interesting concept. Because it's not just Toxin status effects that bypass shields. It's the Toxin damage itself as well. Like, it literally goes right through. Just does not even bother damaging the shield. Direct health damage. Really good. The only thing better than it is true damage. Wait, does true damage bypass shields? Actually, I think it doesn't. Yeah, pretty sure it doesn't. 54.13, that's much worse, definitely. No go, but we might as well try the 90 as well. There's no harm. As expected, it was worse than the last one. Alright, that's fine. So thus far, the top dog is Galvapt, Viral Magnetic, and then Corrosive. Okay, let's continue on that. Let's expand on that. So we went Toxin and Electricity, both 60/60s, making a total 120, which is less than the 150 of Biotic rounds for every single element. But what if we added even more? So let's swap out Electricity for an Electricity 90. Let's see if that's worse, better. We don't know. Let's test it out. One more thing that we can also test out is an Hunter Munitions build. Usually when the kill times are so small, like in this one, 53 area, Hunch munition does not help much because to actually deal damage with hunch munition style builds, every enemy has to wait a couple seconds for slash damage to actually tick, because slash damage is not instant. It takes 1 second for the first tick and even more for the second and third. Oh yeah, that's definitely a no-go. Reducing the status effect and going ahead of viral is a no-go. Okay, so thus far this is the top build. But what if, hear me out here, what if we add something like heat? Oh wait, what if we add argon scope and then add hammer shot? So not only are we getting more status chance with hammer shot, then we're also getting more crit chance with argon scope. Then we're again we're gonna get status damage, because hammer shot has status damage. I meant crit damage, not status damage. It has crit damage. So we're increasing all three of the main 3 core values. So maybe this could be good. Let's try it out. Granted, we're losing out on base damage, but it has potential. Could be interesting. One other thing that we have not tested is magnetic magazine. I doubt it's better because it reduces our viral, and the combined magnetic is worthless because you already had it, but it's worth trying. Or maybe not. Yikes, 56. That is a massive downgrade compared to our 53 there. Alright, what else is there to try? So thus far, the big boy is toxin and electricity. What other elements are there? Let's see. Blast is one. Definitely not going to be better. We have viral, we have corrosive. We tried it. It's good. We have magnetic, you already have that. You have radiation. It's not particularly useful in terms of a status effect, that is. Let's see. What are the mods? Let's have a look. Base damage, corrupted, multi-shot, status 90, rifle elementalist. I don't think any of those are going to do much. Primary acuity is an interesting one, but it completely Wait a second. Primary acuity gives us... Oh, it gives us crit chance. Oh. I think it gives crit chance and one other thing, right? A weak point additive. Yikes. Now which I'm thinking about it, a primary acuity build on AX-52's aimed mode may not be the worst idea. I don't love it, but because on aimed mode you are going to be critting, like getting headshot anyway, because if you don't, your weapon is worthless. Could be worth adding. Yeah, it definitely is up there. Granted, we already have 400% crit chance, so adding even more is not that big of a deal, but the weak point additive could be useful. Or does it? I guess it's up to preference. I rather not. Genuinely, primary acuity is such an annoying mod because it... Oh yeah, oh okay, I forgot. Primary acuity actually destroys your multi-shot. It's a replacement for multi-shot. Looking at my multi-shot value, it just disappeared. Because it's 1.8. Oh yeah, it won't be better actually. Now which I'm thinking about it. Because we already have to get headshot. So we already have a 400% crit chance. So the crit chance increase is not a big deal. And the additive is counteractive by multi-shot. And the fact that it also removes the mod slot. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be better. It might be on paper, but I don't think overall it would be a better idea. Because it also destroys our status chance. Because this weapon doesn't have that much status chance. And taking away our multi-shot is taking away our status chance. Okay, I'm against that idea, so let's not worry about that one. We could go prime magazine, we could go primed reload, we could go radiation reload. Did we try radiation? Let's see, did we? Hammer shot. Oh yeah, we did try radiation reload actually, yeah. It was not better. It's funny because sometimes I want to add both radiation reload and magnetic fire rate. Is it magnetic fire rate on primaries? What was it? Magnetic magazine. But this weapon, specifically on hip fire, has very good ammo economy, does not need it. Not to mention we already have magnetic and viral, so that's not a big deal. So what do we change? Let's try this out. Instead of corrupted fire rate, what if we use normal fire rate? It's worth a try. It's one of those things that I always have to test. Even though the difference is not huge, it's good to have an edge on it, because corrupted fire rate actually burns through your ammo faster, which means more damage, but also means more reloading. This weapon does have a magazine of 100, effectively 100 at least, in hip fire mode, so probably not. Yeah, as you can see, it's a significant loss actually. It's huge. Look at that loss. It's big. Okay, let's not worry about that then. Demo says Rad isn't that good, is it? Well, it's fine. It is an okay damage type, and it doesn't suffer too much in that part. The reason it's not amazing as like a standalone element is the fact that, well, status effect doesn't do anything. It just causes passive CC, which is a massive deal later on in the game. But if you're going to rely on distraction CC for survival, yeah, your weapon's not going to do enough damage to kill the enemies. See? Instead of that, having something like corrosive or magnetic is a much bigger deal, because at least they have a damage increase and not like a distraction CC on a weapon. A weapon's job is to kill. So focusing on radiation, not a big deal, except for when it's simply an extra status effect to give you more base damage via galvanized status. Then it's good. But this time it wasn't, because we have both viral and magnetic, and we can use that to add corrosive instead. Much bigger deal. Specifically against Grenier, because they're also weak to that damage type, means they're further enhanced. Our damage output is going to be much higher. What else can we try? What if we go for... Oh, wait a second. When we're using corrupted crit chance, we're actually losing fire rate. So what if we go back to using Argon Scope like we were using before, but because we have Argon Scope, we can drop a bit of our crit chance from corrupted and use normal crit chance. Would that beat out the corrosive build? It could. There's potential there. Oh, it did not. Oh, it so did not. Where was it? I think it was number 8. Let's put it there. It went from 53.04 to 54.18. So, turns out, even with Argon Scope, it's still not a good idea. Okay, got it. What else is there to try? Let's actually save this as... what's my naming scheme on these bad boys? Current top dash. Okay, so I should name it current top hip aug. Should we try out the Hunter Mumu type build next? I can't think of much else right now. We tried out Vigilante Multi-Shot. We tried out reducing fire rate with terrible idea. What if we add more fire rate? That's a funky idea, but let's try it. There's no reason not to. Vigilante fire rate, moving our fire rate from 17 to 21. That means our total magazine will last 5 seconds with this ammo efficiency, and the reload is only 2. So it's theoretically good, but is it better than Argon Scope? Is it better than having corrosive? Let's see. 54.14. It's not that good. Between 53 and .03 and 54.14, there's a massive gap. Alright, so that's not it. Wait a second. What if we added this and then reduce the damage loss? But then again, in this form, we're using both base damage and galvanized style, so there's little chance, but then we'll try it. Recently, I've been playing a game called Autonauts. It's been really fun. But it's the type of game that will take like 100 hours to finish. And it's not particularly engaging on a moment-to-moment basis. It's an automation game where you move robots. And then you kind of code for them what to do, but not really. Wow, look at the damage loss here. Wow. That 30% extra from Vigilante, because viral acceleration is a 90, speed trigger is a 60. That is massive. We became so much worse. Yikes. Okay, so that's not it. We know that much for sure. Do not mess with viral acceleration. It has solidified it in this build. And we don't need that. We don't need to add even more fire rate. It turned out to be a bad idea. But what about Hunter munitions? If we're adding Hunter munitions, we absolutely have to turn on skip enemy at 50%. So let's see how that turns out. Sure, we don't have corrosive, we don't have argon scope, we don't have hammer shot, but we have extra slash. Wait a second, Hunter munitions also increases our base damage because we do not have slash on this weapon. Dang, that could be good. But we tried heat and it didn't work out too well. So I guess we'll figure out. Let's see. Is it better? And on this page, you can see some enemies are still alive when we're moving on to the next enemy. You can see like sometimes it moves on to the third enemy without killing the second. That's the 50% skip in action. Oh my god. Look at that. 63. 63. We went from 53 to 63 because we were waiting for slash to do the killing. Yikes. Absolutely yikes. Yeah. Wait a second. Wait a dang second. Why is that worse than literally having nothing in there? Is it because of the 50 skip? Maybe I should disable 50 skip on this one. Because when we're skipping, we have to retarget. Remember that. When we're going from one target to the second one without killing the last one, if it survives, that's a 0.5 second addition to the timer. So maybe we add Hunter munitions, but not as a method to kill enemies, but just as a method to get slash procs, because we don't have them. And unlike elemental mods, yeah, it is a big jump. I think it's because of the 50% skip, because Hunter munition didn't add enough slash procs to do the killing, and we had to go back and shoot it again. And when you have to go back, you have to aim at it again, and that's a massive waste of time. So Hunter Mumu, if I add a slash 120 mod, look at that. Puncture did not add slash at all. Because these elementals, unlike elementals, these physical types only increase what you have. They will not add new elements. Like I can add puncture and that will increase puncture damage. But if I add slash, no slash will be added if you don't have it already. That's why these physical types are mostly useless. Unless you just want to change the stats proc, but then again, that's whole mod slot wasted for just changing the damage weights and increasing the chance of like one proc happening. So without 50 skip, with Hunter Mumu, we're just gonna rely on the slash proc to increase our base damage. Let's see how that goes. $54.8. It's not terrible. Like, it's definitely better than nothing now. But yeah, it's not amazing either. Like, when we compare it to that heat setup, Yeah, even the heat setup wins because it also adds status chance in addition to the new element. So yeah, Hunter Mumu is definitely not the way, at least with this setup. What else could we do to theoretically boost Hunter Mumu? That's a good question. What about Rifle Elementalist? Yeah, now which I think about it, if we just enable... let's see what demo says. Demo says, have you tried the full status build, all 6060 mod with status 90 and 1 galvanized mod? With biotic rounds? Like, are you thinking like dropping crit stats entirely? Is that what you're saying? 1 galvanized mod, like without galvanized multi-shot? That's not gonna work. Like, I'm assuming you mean galvanized status and galvanized multi-shot. Full status build, like having viral, magnetic, and then maybe corrosive as well as radiation maybe. Like dropping, the only mods that we would really be dropping then would be base damage, galvanized. If we drop crit mods as well, terrible idea. This weapon has good crits, but we can try it. There's no harm in that. So now we have enough to add corrosive, first of all, toxin, and electricity. We cannot mess with fire rate. That's going to stay. Now we can have like radiation and then heat maybe. So radiation and then heat 60-60. We have a lot of status chance, like a lot of status chance. We're probably going past 100%. Let's see. The base is 18, so 18 times 1.5, that's 27. 64.8 plus 27. Actually, we're not going past 100%. We're moving to 91.8, but with this kind of fire rate, that's a lot. Yeah, let's try it. I feel like instead of like radiation reload, having the extra base damage was fine. So let's see if my hunch is correct, that adding base damage instead of radiation reload is a better idea. But let's try it. $59.61. As you can see, not amazing. But I bet you, I absolutely am confident, radiation reload to base damage is an increase in damage. Like performance. Let's see. Because we have so many element types that we are getting a lot of... demo says, how about corrosive and blast? Yeah, I'll try it for you. After this one. Was it an increase? I don't remember what it was before. Yeah, from 59.61 it went to 57.99, so I was right about that one. But let's test out your other idea. Dropping base damage, corrosive and blast, so heat and cold. Do you mean blast with a 165 or do you mean blast with a 60-60? Because while the 60-60 would give us more status chance, the chance of blast happening would be pretty low. And because the blast elemental is lower, we'll also get a lot less values on those blast procs. Let's try both. I'm guessing the 165 cold will do better, but both of these will do worse. Definitely worse than the base damage variant that I did just before this. But I'm not sure how it will compare to the radiation heat. But if I had to guess, I'm guessing that this will do worse than the radiation heat build we tried before. Let's see if I'm right about that. In my experience, blast doesn't do an amazing job, simply because the percentage that the DOTs do is not amazing. Granted, the fact that it's instant when you kill an enemy, that is good. That is really good. And the range is pretty decent as well. But I would just wish it was a bit more, how do I put this? Better scaling. So we just went from 5961 of your radiation heat build with corrosive and magnetic and viral, but still, to 61.04. So my hunch was yet again correct. Let's see if my other hunch is also correct, that this will do better. Because we have so much status chance. Like so much status chance mods. That is an extra 60 compared to that much more damage is not as big of a deal. Oh, what do you know? I was wrong. It became worse. It went from 68.80 from 61.04 to 61.86. So it actually was worse. Surprising. I actually did not expect that, but turns out it was the case. Heh. Interesting. Well, anyway, let's move back on track. We were wondering how we can further improve this corrosive build, or whether we should stick with argon scope. I'm still thinking that the corrosive build is better. Not sure if I can improve it further though. It may be time to throw in the towel and say it's just as good as it gets. What are these mods? Oh, corrosive. What other elements do we have? We can try gas. It's probably not going to do much. As was in... Yeah, what about blast here without the corrosive? Let's try it. Let's try both gas and corrosive. Gas and blast. That's what I meant to say. Heat. Where's cold? There it is. The thing is, even blast procs do scale off of crits. All the multipliers before them, they all affect it. So having crits does increase the damage of blast. And we also have to do a lot of this again for the aimed version, because the aimed version's build is quite different. It's definitely better than the blast variant without the crits, but it's not amazing at 58 compared to like the 53s we got before. Though it, funnily enough, it does lose to the full status radiation, the full status base damage and corrosive heat build. It does lose to that because it's corrosive. Okay, I think it's enough to call it a win. Current top, hip, AUG. Let's actually double check that this is the correct build as well. Yep, it's correct. Save, current top, hip, AUG. Alright. Now, it's time to go forth and pull out the most destructive variant of this weapon, but also the hardest to use. The aimed mode. This crit chance increase does not show up here, but it is there. Trust me. Aim only build. Aim only build has ammo issues. That's why we're not getting the extra benefit from corrupted fire rate, because it just burns through our ammo too quickly. We reload too much. And we're also using magnetic magazine to increase our magazine. So the question is, when we already have magnetic with this mod right here, this lovely mod, will we get more performance if we swap that magnetic magazine to just a magazine mod? The difference is small, but because it's actually reducing the chance of viral, could be. So let's actually get a reference point first. Let's go to aim only. And let's actually, before we do anything else, let's actually clear these. There's a handy clear button right here, this trash can. You just click it, boop, all the results are gone. Now we can have a clean plate to test out this weapon. Technically the same weapon, but honestly, it's different enough that you might as well call it a different weapon. This is the default, no biotic rounds, no augment. We're just getting a starting point. $55.46. Demo says, isn't there a mod for making pistol ammo to primary ammo? Yes, there definitely is. It's an exile slot mod. But we don't have exile slots just yet in the calculator. The issue isn't that we're running out of ammo. In this program, there is no cap on your ammo. You have infinite ammo. That's not something the calculator does, because if it did, you ran out of ammo halfway through the test. What do we do now? Yeah, it conceptually doesn't make sense, since we're actually checking performance, not like we're not getting any drops from enemies to just replenish our ammo. And if you run out, so what then? It conceptually doesn't make sense, and we can't test properly then. The issue is the ammo economy, the time we're wasting reloading. If your fire rate is too high, you spend more time reloading and less time killing enemies. So you're wasting time. That's the reason reducing your fire rate in some instances is a good idea. So that's why corrupted fire is actually performance loss here, because our magazine is small enough. It's not big enough to support that kind of fire rate. See? Okay, we got our basic benchmark. Now let's try nothing else, just biotic rounds. It should still be better. Granted, we definitely did already have viral and magnetic, and at a much better ratio too, because magnetic shouldn't be the top one. It should be viral, because it actually does more overall. But the numbers, 150, 150, that's massive, 300% total. That's a lot of straight up direct damage. So I think it's an improvement. And yep, it definitely is. Even with an empty mod slot, it's still better. 54. So now, what would you add in this empty slot? Let's start with the worst option. We already have so much crit chance that Argon Scope, there's no way it's that big of an increase. But it's still an increase. It's better than nothing. Okay? We just went from 54 to 52. So we're already well past the hip fire mode. Let's try hammer shot. Because we have so much crit chance, we have over 100% crit chance. I think we have 128-ish crit chance with the 400%. Let's just math that out. It's essentially 26 times 5. It's 130. Our crit chance is 130 on headshots. And since this is only headshots, it's always 130. So having extra crit damage is a big deal. Let's see. It's definitely better than Argon Scope. I'm pretty dang confident about that. But how much better? Is it 52 to 52.1? Is it 50? Is it 51? I don't know. Let's figure it out. Let's see. I doubt it goes as low as 50 though. You are right. CD demo says, how about CD on kill? That could work with the good CC. It isn't bad, but there is a reason I nearly never use it. Other than the fact that you already have crit damage, adding more in that way doesn't scale very well. Other than that, the fact that it is only aimed hits that get the bonus is terrible. Granted, in this instant, it's not as bad because you already have to do that because on headshot bonuses are only aimed on headshot. But on any other weapon, I wouldn't even consider it. But let's try it. Let me actually check. What was the percentage on that bad boy? Let me actually show it to you as well. If I have a look at the mods, rifle mods, where are you? CD on kill. It gives us 120%. That's as much as Vital Sense. Yep, it's exactly the same amount. So there is potential there. Could be good. Let's try it. Instead of hammer shot, we use CD on kill. Where is it? There it is. But you also have to consider that's an on kill bonus. So you actually do lose it after, like, I think it's 8 seconds. Was it 8 seconds? Let's check that. Where was it? I lost it. Let's search for it. CD on kill. It's 9 seconds. So it's not that long. Let's go. If I had to put money on something, it'd probably be corrosive again. Granted, this does so much damage that maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't, because maybe the enemies die so fast, we won't get a chance to have both corrosive, viral, and magnetic on them. But we gotta test it. If nothing else, one test, not much. Thus far, yes, bladed rounds better than hammer shot. What other mods are there? Vigilante multi-shot didn't do too hot last time. I'll try it anyway. Because extra multi-shot also helps with one-hit kills. But granted, when you have like 3.3 total multi-shot, an extra, I think 60 is this one? I think it's 60. Isn't as significant because it goes 3.3 to 3.9, I believe. Probably not better than bladed rounds. Yeah, it definitely isn't. Now let's try that corrosive strat. Toxin, electricity. Go. Oh yeah, we can also try removing the magnetic magazine mod and swapping it with a normal magazine mod or a radiation reload mod. Yeah, that's actually... Wait, I'm so stupid. I should have immediately swapped out the magnetic magazine for radiation reload because those two are always very close in performance. But magnetic magazine is a tiny bit better because magnetic is better. But now we already have magnetic, so we should try out radiation reload. Oh, wow. The enemies die so fast that corrosive is not even that good. It genuinely isn't that good. Like, even Argon Scope is better than this corrosive setup right now. Dang. I really hope bladed rounds does not win this. That would be terrible. What did they want to test again? Oh yeah. Let's go back to bladed rounds for a second and swap magnetic magazine for radiation reload. It's gotta be better, right? It's gotta be. It's like absolutely should be the case. Because we still have the somewhat the same ammo economy, because instead of having more magazine, we just have a shorter reload time. But we have an extra element that we didn't before, which is radiation. And this also helps get more virals because magnetic doesn't go ahead of viral anymore. Oh yeah, as I expected, 51.15 current top. Let's try with hammer shot too, since we're here. Because hammer shot gives us status chance, we have now more elements. Could put it over the edge, who knows? Or at least it could make it close enough for the duration to become a different factor. The duration of bladed rounds, which is only 9 seconds, while the increase of hammer shot is permanent. Let's see. Nope. It is close. It is really close, to be fair. 51.39 to 51.15. That's a small difference. How much better is it than before, though? From 51.60 to 39. Yeah, it is better. It's definitely better. I'm gonna put it here just in case. What else could we try? Oh yeah. What about we stay on CD on kill, and instead of radiation reload, we straight up add just more magazine. Primed magazine, where was it? There it is. How big of a difference is that compared to radiation, compared to magnetic magazine? 62 to 56. It's not actually that big of a difference, so probably gonna be worse. Probably. If I was to recommend a build, even with the slight difference in favor of bladed rounds, I would probably still recommend hammer shot, simply because it doesn't have a build-up of a 9-second duration and such. Oh wow, it's so much worse. Yikes. From 15 to 49. 51.15 to 51.49. Definitely a big difference when you think about it. So thus far, radiation reload is taking the cake. Wait a second. What if... it sounds like a funny idea. What if we drop base damage and have both crit damage on kill and hammer shot? That could be funky. Let's try it. Oh, well, it is funky, but it's not better. What else could we try with this kind of setup? What if we double improve the magazine situation? Like, what if we have radiation reload and then drop base damage for magazine? Like, that would help out. And then, if we do that, we would then have the option to drop the normal fire for corrupted fire. What if we do that? Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Ooh, yikes. Not amazing. Did not go as well as I had expected. But let's try it if my idea of having corrupted fire rate is actually correct here. Yeah, I really need better music. Genuinely, I gotta spend some time. Go through like a couple hundred music. Find some good ones. It just takes so long. Cobra Gaming says, what about just primed shred? The thing is, there is no punch through in this test. So primed shred is essentially just a worse speed trigger, since it's 55% instead of 60. In practice, you could argue that primed shred is better, but I don't think so. Like, punch through is such a situational thing. It has enemies to be lined up perfectly. Especially when a weapon's hit scan. That means it doesn't have like a projectile. It doesn't have any thickness. just perfect line. Not amazing. Oh, my idea was totally wrong, actually. Corrupted fire rate is still worse than just speed trigger on this setup. Probably because you don't have enough base damage or something. But regardless, it is worse. It's definitely worse by quite a significant margin in that. Funny. 53.45. It's still a far cry. Yeah, it's definitely a far cry from these top contenders over here. So what else can we try that we have not tried? Oh wow, I just found a bug. It's insignificant enough to not worry about. Oh yeah, did I mess something up? Oh yeah, that should not be a thing. If you're wondering what I'm just talking about, if I both left click and right click on a mod and then drag, it double drags it. That should not be possible. Yeah, that should not be the thing. But it's insignificant enough to not worry about, because why would you do that? Yeah, I'd probably not fix it, honestly. It's a funny thing to keep. Oh yeah, but what should we add? Like, genuinely, I'm stumped. Thus far, we've come to the conclusion that dropping base damage is a no-no for this build, because even corrosive lost here. So what can we try? What about just magazine with nothing else? Having reload, having magazine with base damage. Would that be good? Let's see. Thus far, yeah, Cobra Gaming says, quote unquote, it's a feature. Yeah, essentially. When you don't want to fix something, just call it a feature. Done. You fixed it. It's that easy. Oh! Wait a dang second. 51.23? Dang. And one thing that I usually don't get to talk about, look at these values here. My mouse is white on a white background, so it's hard to see. Maybe I should change its color. Give me a second. Can I do that? Is it easy to do? 1 second, I'm going to check it. Where is the mouse settings? Oh. Maybe I should make it a bit bigger. Maybe it's too small on screen. Okay, now you can, hopefully you can definitely see it now. It's pretty big. Does it actually show up as green? I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to tell on that tiny OBS screen. I think it's green. Wait a dang second. I think it does not show it as bigger when I made it bigger. On my screen it's bigger. I think it's not bigger on OBS. Give me a second. Let me get closer to that second monitor of mine. Oh yeah, it definitely does not become bigger on your side when I make it bigger on my side. Right now it's half the width of these mods, but it's not so on your screen at all. Hilarious. I guess scaling it up this way doesn't show up on stream, which is interesting. Why is that a thing? Why would that be a thing? Anyway, at least the color is easier to see. What I'm talking about is these two builds. Compare build number 42 with 36, the bladed rounds build, to this prime magazine warp. Look at these numbers up here. Consistency. This is something I don't get to talk about often because often it doesn't come into play. But consistency scores are incredibly important because it tells you how consistent the kill times are. For example, will it be sometimes 50, sometimes 55, or will it be sometimes 52, sometimes 56? That's a big difference. Oh wait, that example is kind of skewed because I went higher, but let's put it this way. One of the build goes 0 to 100. Randomly, you could get a 0, you could get 100, but the second build goes 25 to 75. While their average is the same, because the second one is more consistent, it's actually better. It just is. It's more consistent. Even though the bladed rounds is a 51.15 and the prime magazine warp is a 51.23, because the consistency of this one is so much better, I would definitely pick it. Like, look at the Grenier consistency, 38 on the bladed, on the prime magazine wrap. But here, it's 17. Same for Corrupted, 20 to 28. And for Corpus, it goes from 45 to 65. That is a significant difference. You could definitely feel that. So thus far, the best build, the thing that we want to put in there when we have such an awesome augment, it's just more magazine. Hilarious. Both of those bad boys, both crit damage and hammer shot, out the window. Magazine wrap is the winner. At least thus far. I'm definitely curious what else could even be as good, because the main drawback of this mode, the aimed headshot, is that your magazine isn't that good. But now we also have a slot for both reload and magazine. Perfect. It's amazing. I doubt we can beat it. I can't think of anything that could beat this. I guess we haven't tried a heat setup. Let's try one of those. Heat 6060 could be interesting. We're also getting pretty close to the end of stream time. Because I usually don't like to stream for longer than 2 hours. It gets really annoying because my back starts to hurt. I usually make it a rule for myself to like stand up at least once every 45 minutes. Oh yeah, that doesn't really work on streams. Oh yeah, that's not it. 52.64, that's a massive ways off what we have. I'm still curious. What if just maybe, just potentially, when we have primed magazine here, can we go corrupted fire rates? Like, come on, corrupted fire rates gotta be good here, because we have more magazine now and better reload. So maybe corrupted fire rate is better this time. But is it? Let's see. Come on, please be better. I want to have that increased fire rate, bro. Yeah, I doubt it. It's probably not better. I'm folding already. Let's see. Yeah, it's not better. It just isn't. As simple as that. Anything else? I think if it's me, I'm gonna Hunter, Electricity, Magazine, Big Cold 165. What about the Big Cold 165? We haven't tried that one. It could add a lot of direct damage and also give us crit damage. A little bit, not too much. Let's try it. We should also test the Cold 6060. Because Cold 6060 gives us crit damage. And it will not obstruct viral as much because it's a smaller number. 52.2. It's not better by itself as a 165 mod, but what about the 6060? Wait a second. I saw something wrong. Well, maybe not. For a second, I thought that there was a little UI glitch right here, but maybe not. Oh, but surprisingly, it's actually worse with the 6060 compared to the 165. So that's a wrap. Who would have thunk it? The one that wins is usability. Because the more usable your weapon is, the more you're going to use it. And the more consistent your results will be. And the more fun you'll have. Because when you're mostly just reloading, it gets really annoying. So yeah, I don't think there is anything else that can beat it. So yeah, I'm actually going to call it. I'm going to call it on this build. Current top, aimed AUG. I think we should rename this to hip aimed AUG. Because it's still good. Even when you use it on the aimed mode. But how good? Dang, that's a good question. Let's try that. Oh, I think we already did. It wasn't amazing, but it was alright. Where did I put it? The corrosive test. Yeah, there it is. But granted, this one is a speed trigger instead of corrupted fire rate. But still, it's close enough. 53 compared to the winner of 51. Definitely a difference, but it's alright. Oh yeah, I totally forgot something. I gotta save these bad boys too. Because I need to send them in Discord. Yeah, I was thinking I forgot something, I just wanted to know what it was. Thankfully we saved the build so we can just regenerate these anytime. Because these saves are instant. Let's go back and save the hip AUG as well. $53.76, is that right? Probably. The bill is definitely right. So yeah, the two winners are 53 and 51. And I think that's where we're gonna end this. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me. And I guess I'll see you next time, which is tomorrow, by the way, exactly in 24 hours. The Prey gaming one, because this was a extra one. I usually don't stream this day, but this time I made an exception because we really had to test this. While I couldn't make a full video on this because I don't have the time, I gotta make a video on Thornback, which is a pain in my ass. It's a thorn in my side because it was released just a week after I made the recommended rifles video, and it's like such an annoying one because it's at the very start where it messes up all the recommendations. What can I do now? I just gotta work with it. And have a good day, people. I'll see you next time, which is tomorrow, by the way, in 24 hours, and we'll just play some Prey.